Hello and welcome. We're going to dive straight into it. First things first, we're going to find a nice location. Secondly, we're going to try build a nice base. This is just going to be a nice kind of Q&A. We'll get into some questions and answers and some stories. We've got a couple of different topics coming up. So without further ado, I'm just going to dive straight into it. If your life was a documentary, what would the title be and why? Yeah, I don't know. Like, for me personally, I guess I would probably call it The Pursuit of Freedom and Financial Stability, I suppose. That's like the only thing I can think of. The Pursuit of Freedom and financial stability. I think, in a way, everyone's kind of probably got that same kind of title if they could have that as a title for their movie or documentary or whatever. Because, I don't know, for me, I really, really value my health, my freedom, and my financial stability. Like, I don't need to be too picky about, like where I live, and like, as long as I've got a place to sleep, I've got food to eat, just the very basics are mostly enough. But, I mean, I definitely strive towards having more, and it is what it is. I'm not gonna lie about it. Like, I would prefer to live a little bit more comfortably if I could, but as long as those basics are kind of sorted out, I think that's probably the most important thing. Like, health is definitely number one, just because without your health, you can't really enjoy life as much as what you would hope for. And I think freedom would definitely be the next most important factor for me, because I don't want to live in a cage. I don't want to be stuck in an environment or like in a situation that I just can't seem to get out of. I think, like, I just want to be able to do what I want to do and just have my freedom and to, just exist in peace, Yeah, I don't know. Freedom is extremely important. I don't want to get stuck in something that I can't get out of because I've been there and it sucks. So freedom is definitely a very, very important thing to me. And then financial stability, I think, is definitely third on the list, because obviously, I mean, I'm not against living comfortably. I don't know anyone else that is against that. Like, I know some people see money as evil, but I don't know. I just see money as a tool to give you more options, and it creates a lot of opportunity as well, I think. Like, for example, if there's a situation where, money can create more options, it would be like, you can travel to another country and you can book a hotel. There's 3 different hotels, and then, there's this one really, really nice one that costs a lot more, but it's just a fantastic like hotel, and you get amazing service and just amazing food, and it's like a beach villa style vibe or whatever, versus like, there's 2 others there's like a medium one, which is, it's pretty good, not as good as the first one. You still get service, but the place is not as nice. It's definitely better than a lot of them that are out there. And then you've got the lowest one, which is kind of cheapest of the cheap, probably not the greatest environment or place. People don't really care about the place, not really well looked after. Like, having those different options, like having the financial stability to choose the better option, or just like, even just with food, like, you can get a bigger combo because you can afford it, instead of just chicken nuggets. I don't know, it's probably not the greatest examples, but I think money can definitely create comfort in my eyes, and I'm sure in many other people's eyes as well. That's kind of just the way I view it. I really think people need to be a little bit more efficient with money, and use their money a little bit more effectively, I think. Not trying to judge people out there, but it's just something I've noticed. Like, I think people sometimes, they just spend money on things that are silly. And, like, don't get me wrong, I get it. I've done that. I have bought so much stupid stuff in my life. Things that I don't use. Like, I've made bad investments, and yeah, like, I get it. I've been there. But I think when you've come from not having a lot of money, you really appreciate just every little bit. It just gives you a lot more to work with, I think. Like, even with food, you become, like, very aware of like trying to get your money's worth out of the food kind of thing. Like, yeah, I don't know. For example, in terms of food, like some deals are just better than others, right? Sometimes you can pay the same price and get like twice as more out of something. Again, I can't think of a very good way of explaining it. I think I'm just hungry. It's probably why I'm using food as an example. But yeah, I don't know. Just to hopefully make it a little bit more easier to understand, I guess, to try to simplify it. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna finish that food. You know, I had a discussion with my flatmate about this because I've noticed sometimes he doesn't finish like his coffee, and like it's fine. Like it's just I don't understand how that happens because me, I'm gonna be there until it's finished, kind of thing. Like I'm gonna get my money's worth, kind of thing. But yeah, we're having a bit of a laugh on that one. Okay, let's see what else we got. Next question. What is the strangest dream you've ever had, and what do you think it meant? Well, I don't really always think dreams have meaning, because, like, I've had some pretty wild ones that I, for the life of me, don't think anyone would be able to figure out what the heck it means. Like, some of them are just dumb and stupid. But, strangest dream. Damn, I've had some pretty wild ones, man. This one was pretty unhinged. I don't know if you've had the dream where you feel like you're drowning in water. I don't know if anyone's had that dream, but it's not a dream that I have very often, if at all. But I did have this one dream where I was just in the ocean, and I was underneath the water, so I like couldn't breathe in the dream underwater. And yeah, it was very strange because you know how normally you would float to the top because you're filled with oxygen, so your body will just kind of float to the top, to the surface. That effect was like reversed, which is really weird. So it felt like I was being sucked underneath and further down while I was under the water. It was really, really strange. It's like I was kind of sinking, but I was like swimming against the air of my body, which was forcing me to the bottom of the ocean. It was very unusual, and I don't know if this is even making sense in terms of like the story. Not that there's much of a story, but yeah, I don't know, man. It was just super weird. Like I remember just trying to swim to the surface, while having this feeling of being like sucked down, like into the like deeper into the water. As I like tried to swim against it, I finally managed to just like break through the surface of the water and like have like this huge gasp of breath come back into my lungs. And as soon as I started to like breathe and like as soon as I broke through the surface, yeah, like the pulling down into the water feeling just stopped, and then I was fine. It was just weird. It was a really weird dream. Like, just in terms of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Just in terms of the science of the dream. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like, I've never had that before. I mean, yeah, I've had some pretty wild ones, to be honest. Like, there was another one where, like, I was just like walking around in a specific area, which I'm not going to tell you exactly where, for obvious reasons, but I remember just walking around one of the town centers, and yeah, like I saw a bunch of people that I knew, and I would see someone and be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, what's going on? Long time no see, kind of thing. And they just didn't even make eye contact with me. They just kept walking as if like my existence was just not there. And I thought, wow, that's kind of rude. You know, like, what's going on? And then I'd be walking around, and I'd see more people that I knew, and I'd try to like make conversation or just say hi or just get someone to acknowledge my existence. But they just kept walking by, like they just couldn't see me, they couldn't hear me. I just was not there, and it was getting really strange because I was like trying to figure out like what the heck's going on. Why is everyone just ignoring me? Like, am I invisible? Am I dead? Like, what the heck is happening? And then I remember, oh yeah, it gets kind of dark. Sorry, there's a lot of dark themed things going on in this particular dream. Well, these couple of dreams. I've had some good ones and I've had some bad ones. This is just like almost like a horror one, I guess. Just very unusual, I guess. But anyway, so everyone's ignoring me, and then I remember trying to run up to someone, and they're walking away from me. So I put my hand on their shoulder and I try to get them to turn around, and as I pull his shoulder and he kind of turns around, he kind of like looks behind me, as if something's behind me. It's just like, watch out, and then I turn around and then there's someone there and I just get like stabbed. And then that same guy just kind of turns around and just keeps walking like nothing happened, and then I'm just lying on the floor just bleeding out in the middle of like this town center, and people are just walking by and I'm like begging for help and like asking like, someone call an ambulance, like, so I just got stabbed, please help. And like no one's doing anything, and I'm just like lying there bleeding out on the ground. And then I woke up and it was just like, what the heck, man, like what is up with these dreams? It was just such a weird dream. Like I don't know why, like I was dreaming like that. But I mean, most of my dreams are pretty chill, but I think those are probably, yeah, those are some that stand out. I definitely have worse, but I think we'll kind of not go into those ones. We'll keep it a little bit more lighthearted because it feels a little dark. So yeah, but yeah, that's probably some of the strangest dreams I've had, to be honest. Let's see. Oh yeah, and part of that question was like, oh, what do you think it means? I don't think it means anything. I just think that I might have just been uncomfortable while I was sleeping, or maybe I watched too much horror movies, or I don't know. I don't really think it has much of a meaning. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I don't know. I just don't think there's any meaning behind that one. But yeah, moving on to the next question. Is there a decision that you made that completely changed your life's direction? I mean, I used to really be into music, and like I still kind of am. Like I used to be obsessed with playing guitar just because that was basically my escape from the world. Like to get a little personal with it, it felt like the only way to be accepted in this world, because like people seem to approve of like the way that I played the guitar, I guess. Like I practiced a lot, and I would really just spend a lot of my time, if not most of my time, like on certain days just playing guitar and trying to make songs. And yeah, I just really practiced, and I was just consumed by it. And I don't know, I think like as I got older, I think I had to start thinking a little bit more realistic in terms of like financial future, because you know I don't want to be like 70 and barely able to play guitar anymore and have that as my source of like income. So I mean, I'll still play for sure, but I definitely have more interests now. And yeah, I don't know, because I guess back in the day I was like, this is it, this is the thing that I'm gonna do. And then people are like, yeah, you're so lucky that you found your thing that you enjoy. Like, I wish I knew what I wanted to do. And then, like, yeah, I did enjoy it, but I think it wasn't something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Like, I enjoyed it. There was something satisfying about it. It was entertaining for people. People enjoyed it. I played in front of, like, schools and all these different places. I've played in front of hundreds of people. So, I mean, it wasn't bad. Like I think it was really good, but I just didn't see it as like something that I could do for long term, and nothing wrong with it. Like if other people want to do that for the rest of their life, that's fine, you know, like no judgment in that, but I just didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. And I think the reason for that is because there were other things in life that I wanted to try out. Instead of just being really focused on just like this one particular thing, I was, I don't know, stopping myself from trying other things, I think. And instead of giving other things a go, I just stopped trying things because I wanted to focus on one thing, which sometimes is good and sometimes is necessary. But you know, I was still pretty young, and I just wanted to try new things. You know, I don't want to just do the same thing. It's like, okay, you know, I like this thing, but maybe it's not the thing that I do for the rest of my life. What else is out there? What can I try? And I think that's really important, because sometimes if you don't try things, you'll just never know, right? But I think you have to have a bit of a balance, because I think you definitely can, on the other side of that, is like you can spread yourself too thin by doing too many things that you just don't even have time to focus on, like maybe the important thing that you enjoy the most. But on the other side of that, like going back to the other version of that, is only focusing on one thing. And yeah, you'll probably get really good at it, but you just won't have opportunity to find something else that might be potentially even better for you, you know, like something that fits really nicely. So yeah, I don't know, there's definitely pros and cons. I think having a nice balance of trying lots of things and then kind of minimizing it a little bit once you find the things that you're enjoying and you find things that you might be good at or even talented at. I think it's a good idea to kind of hone in on some of those skills and like really like honing on that craft. I think is a good way to go. But yeah, you don't want to be too much of an extreme on one side of that. I think having a balance is important for that. Yeah. But anyway, let's see. Next question. What's something from your childhood that still influences you today? I'm not gonna lie. I think I still am like a fan of like superhero movies and that kind of thing. I know I'm a nerd, but I don't know. I really get immersed into that kind of stuff because it's almost like playing with like reality. It's like, imagine if your reality was totally different and you had like superpowers, and like how would you deal with your life with these new things that you're the only person that has it, and you know you have such an insane advantage over like anyone else. Like there's just no way that they could compete because of this ability that no one else has and you have. Yeah, I don't know. There's also a lot of moral question of like how you would act. Would you take advantage of it? Would you use it for good? Would you just use it for evil because like, you know, no one's going to be able to stop you? Yeah, I don't know. So I guess for example, like Iron Man, I thought that was badass movie. Like all the movies, I really enjoyed it. Like this super like genius tech dude who's just rich as hell and super smart, and just everyone wants to like be around him and just get to know him. And you know, I don't know, I kind of like the idea of just it just seems kind of badass. Also like the movie Jumper, to be honest, I really liked that movie. That was a cool movie. I really enjoyed that movie. I think it was so underrated. It didn't get enough appreciation. Like, I think more people should have been able to see that movie because it's just such a good movie. If you don't know what it's about, it's basically about a guy, like, you know, going through high school, and he learns that he has the ability to teleport. And sorry, spoilers. That's it. It is what it is. Sorry. But yeah, if you haven't, it's a very old movie. If you haven't seen it, then you know it is what it is. But yeah, I won't go into too much detail, and I won't ruin the movie or anything. But yeah, it's a really good movie. It feels like that's probably how I would deal with that situation of like learning that you've got these new powers and just doing the things that he does, like, you know, eating lunch on top of the pyramids, and you know, surfing in certain areas, and going to like a bar in England somewhere, just all within split seconds of like, you know, of a decision of like, oh, let's go here, boom, done. But yeah, I won't go into too much detail because there's a really good storyline behind it, and I really like it. Very underrated movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's definitely a very good movie. I really enjoyed it. Good actors as well. Really good actors. Definitely a 90s kid kind of style movie for sure. Yeah. Okay, next question. So this is getting a little bit more spicier, some of these questions. So the question is, what's a theory, myth, or legend you secretly believe might be real? Oh man, dude, I'm just exposing myself here. Well, I kind of will believe it when I see it, but yeah, the whole like alien thing, like I can't argue that they don't exist, basically. I'm not saying they do, but I mean the chances of them being out there, like if you really think about it, right? So space is like infinite. As far as we're aware, there is no end to space. It is just a continuous direction in every direction, right? So when you think about it like that, it's just hard to believe that we're the only one here, you know? Like, think about how many planets there are in the galaxy. Think about the infinite direction of just endless space. I mean, we can't be the only thing out there, right? Hey, maybe we are. That's possible. Like maybe that's it. Maybe we are just, you know, the only kind of like life forms in the galaxy. You know, like in space, just floating around on this ball of an object, right? But I don't know, man. Like, I just don't think we even have the technology available to be able to explore that and to answer that question appropriately, because I, for the life of me, cannot argue that we are definitely 100% the only people that exist. You know, like, we are not the only life form. Like, there's obviously also a possibility that there isn't, and maybe we just are extremely lucky to just exist on this planet, and, you know, the conditions just happen to be perfect, and things just work perfectly for whatever, for this to happen. But I don't know, man. Again, I have to believe it. I have to see it to believe it, I think. To really, really believe it and to be convinced. But I think it's almost insulting to think the other way around. Like, that there's just no way that we're the only ones here. Like, there's got to be something else out there, right? Like, even if it's, like, bugs or animals or whatever, like, in the infinite space out there, I mean, there's just got to be something, right? So, yeah, that's kind of my stance on it. Like, I'm not necessarily, like, a UFO believer or whatever. Like, I don't know. But that's the problem, though. I think the issue of me confirming that things are, like, real, like, it's just we don't have enough information. That's what it is. That's the whole thing, right? Like, we just don't know. Like, 'cause there's no way of, like, really kind of proving it. But yeah, like, I'm no conspiracy theorist. I do like conspiracies because, like, it's kind of fun to play around with the idea of, like, something actually being true when we all think it's not. Because that is sometimes a thing that does actually happen. But, you know, I just think with the lack of evidence and with the lack of information and the lack of technology to really be able to, like, 100% confirm, like, there's always a possibility, I think. That's just the way that I think about it anyway. But yeah. Let's see, what else we got? Have you ever had a moment where you thought, this can't be a coincidence? Oh, yeah, we're getting into conspiracies now. This is straight up just, like, the weird stuff. This probably isn't, like, the best answer for this question, but I remember as a kid, like, you could go to this, like, area in the school, and you could basically hire out, like, a ball or, you know, like, equipment to go play outside at lunchtime, and, you know, you could kind of entertain yourself. You could shoot hoops and do whatever. So I remember getting, like, this tennis ball, and we used to play handball back in the day, when we were, like, much younger, like primary school. And yeah, I could have sworn, like, this one game we had handball. There was about, like, 4 or 5 of us, and we're just playing handball and bouncing the ball in our little squares. And, you've got these different rules of the game. You've got king, queen, jack, I think that was a thing. But basically, king is kind of the person that ends up beating everyone. So you kind of got to work your way up through the ranks. But I remember, like, the bell rang, and everyone was kind of going back to their classes, right? And I remember, like, kind of throwing the ball back and forth in between my hands. And I know this is probably definitely not what happened. Because, like, you know, you're a kid, and, like, you have a very creative mind when you're a kid, I think. But I swear to God, like, I threw the tennis ball to catch it in my other hand, and I swear I saw it go through my freaking hand and, like, out the other side, and then, like, I just didn't feel it at all. Like, the reality of it, probably, you know, I just suck at catching with my left hand, but, like, I was so convinced, like, that I was looking at my hand, and I watched the tennis ball just basically go straight through it. I don't know, man. It was super, super weird. Do I believe that actually happened? Nah, I don't think that actually happened. But my kid version of me at the time was like, that just happened. Like, there's no way that just happened, kind of thing. But yeah, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird stuff. Let's see. What is the most unsettling or unexplainable thing you've ever experienced? Okay, I've got one for you. So, again, this goes to the lack of information and technology to be able to confirm this, right? And I just like to think about this because it's kind of entertaining for me, I think. And just to kind of dabble with those questions, I like to, like, let my mind wander with this kind of stuff sometimes. So, if you think about it, right, we don't exactly know about every living thing that exists in the ocean, right? There's things of like, the giant squid, and like a lot of people didn't believe it, and then they ended up finding it or whatever. Yeah, but I think because we can't really go to the very bottom of the ocean as far as I'm aware. Like we can't find every single creature that exists in the ocean. Like we know a lot of it, but there's still just undiscovered creatures, and I think to get a bit mystical with it, like I think there could be some like creatures out there that exist that we should be afraid of. Like maybe there are some things that we just shouldn't discover. Like maybe it's just so dangerous, or maybe there are just things down there that are better off being left alone. I don't know. It's a interesting little thing to think about, I think. Because I mean, technically, we don't really know what's down there. There could be creatures that just haven't been discovered yet. They could be very small. They could be incredibly large. They could be completely passive. They could be incredibly hostile. We don't know. So I don't know. I just find it really interesting to think about that kind of stuff. It kind of, I don't know, keeps my mind wondering about these things. We're going to move past these next conspiracy, mysterious questions because I'm probably sounding like a crazy person. So we're going to move on to some different ones. Next one is, what's your go-to way of get out of a mental rut? I don't think I fully comprehended that sentence. Hang on, let's try that again. What's your go-to way to get out of a mental rut? I mean, I've had plenty of experience of that. I'll tell you what. To be honest, I think the best way to get out of a mental rut is to bring it back to the basics. I think it's important to really bring it back to the simplest things, like, are you eating correctly? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you drinking enough water? There's actually a really good example that I still kind of use, and it's basically called the life balance wheel. And this is something that my sister mentioned to me. She found it helpful and interesting and whatnot. So she told me about it, and then I had a look at it. And basically what it is, it's a wheel of different category of things that contribute to your mental happiness, basically. So whether it's like relationships, like your financial state, like your health, your fitness, your everything, right? But there are some very specific key pillars that are chosen specifically for this wheel. But the way that I like to use it is to basically just create a list of these things and then scale out of 1 to 10 how you feel you are with this particular thing, right? So you go through the list, you answer it 1 to 10, 10 being the best, 1 being awful, and then you go through it and you see what numbers are going to be sticking out the most. Sometimes you get a lot of low numbers. You're like, oh wow, that's actually way more things that I need to work on than what I realized. So, you kind of go through it, and then you pick one thing and you just work on it until, well, you pick the most doable thing. It's like, what out of all these that are at the lowest are the things that I need to work on the most, and what is the most doable one? And then just start with that, and then just every day work on that until, even if you increase it by like one number, say like it's a 6 and now it's a 7, that's improvement. Like you've improved your life. And going through that list, you will slowly find yourself becoming a lot more happier and healthier and just overall way more well balanced out. That's been a huge one for me. Like sometimes you don't realize that there are other factors that you might not even be considering that are kind of messing with your mental rut situation. So yeah, I don't know. I find that to be really helpful, and I think more people should know about it, because sometimes you can't figure out what it is. Like you're stuck. You're just in a bad place and you don't know why. And you're like, I just hate this. I need to get out of this. What do I do? There are ways of just taking one step at a time, kind of thing, to slowly get you back on track. I think that's been very helpful for me, at least. It might be different for other people. Different people have different things going on, but I think that's a pretty good place to start. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Try it out. Let's see what else we got. how do you think other people see you versus how you see yourself? Oh man, that's kind of a rough one. I don't know. I don't particularly feel like getting way too personal about it, but I don't know. Like, I always see room for improvement, I guess. Like, there's always something I can be doing better. That's the way that I see it. It's like, even if you think you're doing really good, there's always things to improve on, right? And I've definitely noticed a hell of a difference from what it used to be like when I was much younger to now. Like, I'm definitely a lot more balanced out, and I'm definitely a lot more of a healthier person than what I used to be, for sure. Because I think self-improvement kind of changed my life, if I can be completely honest. Like, it came from kind of like a dark place of like, I'm not good enough as a person. So I would constantly try to become better and improve and just keep leveling up until like until I felt like I was good enough, basically. But yeah, in disguise, it really was very helpful, I think, because I wasn't living a lie. Like I was very upfront, and I was looking for the lessons, and I wanted to learn the hard truths that a lot of people might not want to face, I think. So yeah, I don't know. I think I went through some hard times, and I think I tried to find out the important life lessons that I was trying to learn, and sometimes it felt like I couldn't even figure out what the lesson was. I was just going through a hard time, just not learning anything, Like, sometimes that's just what it is. I think life will just kick your ass until you finally figure it out, and there's no remorse. That's just the way that I think it is. It's like you just have to keep searching for the answers, and you have to keep trying to improve until slowly but eventually you start to notice, like, hey, you know what? Things are actually looking pretty good. Like, I've got a lot to be appreciative of, Like, for example, like, I started getting a bit chubby, and that was something that I wasn't facing. And I really didn't want to do exercise, and I just kind of ignored it. I was eating terribly. Like, I would have cheese toasties way too much. That was like the main meal that I was eating, because I was just so damn lazy, and I just couldn't bring myself to make like a healthy meal. But I ended up, being absolutely sick of it, because I was like, oh man, I used to be so skinny, like, and I really appreciated, like, not having this big old tummy that is really rounding me out, and now I just feel awful. And like, I was wearing different t-shirts, and I just couldn't find a t-shirt that looked good, and then I realized, like, no, it's just me, like, I'm the problem. I need to change that. So yeah, I decided to get back into shape and eat healthy, and watch what I eat and how much I eat, and now we're definitely in a very nice place again, but not quite where we want to be. But the amount of progress I've made over the last like couple of months is really good. Like, I'm really, really proud of the progress. Like, I think I'm skinny again, which is nice. But I think I've completely forgot what the question was. Yeah, I went on a complete tangent there. It says, how do you think other people see you versus how you see yourself? Yeah, I think I answered that one, but yeah, we'll just, I guess, move on to the next one, I suppose. So next one is, if someone made a video essay about you, what would be the thesis? I don't know. A video essay, I don't know. I don't actually know how to answer that one. I might move on to another one because I'm not too sure. What's a belief you've changed? What's a belief you changed your mind about recently, and what made you change it? A belief that I think I've changed would definitely be how I view other people, and like the way that I am perceived in society, for sure. Like, I remember back in the day when I was much younger, people's opinions mattered greatly to me. Now growing up, like, like going through like work and stuff, it was just like, you really learn a lot about people, and sometimes you learn that there's really shitty people out there, and sometimes their opinion of you should not matter, because no matter what, sometimes you just can't make that person happy, and you can't make that person accept you. So, like, why waste that energy and effort on that? Like, it's really not a good way to spend your time and effort. So, and I think this is a difficult one for a lot of people, just learning how to not really care about what people think of you, because everyone secretly, I think, thinks about like the social what's the word I'm looking for? There's like a social norm that I think people feel like they have to live up to. But like there are some good things about it, but there's also some bad things about it. You know, like sometimes I would have to force myself into a position that specifically would make me feel uncomfortable, so eventually I could learn to get over it. And that really sucked. That whole process was awful. Like, I hated that because I was making myself vulnerable, doing the thing that I was afraid of, but the result was very, very effective because eventually I did stop learning. Like, I did stop like caring about what people thought of me. It's like, you know what, like when you realize how many awful people are out there, there are some amazing people out there, but there's definitely a small portion of people that are just awful people that, you know, they just got the wrong nutrients as a kid, they just haven't been looked after, like, you know, there's nothing you can do to change their habits and their views. They just are going to be miserable, and that's just how it is, you know. And it sucks to see it, and you want to help them, but you can't help them if they won't help themselves. But anyway, once you realize that, or once you kind of figure out, like, it doesn't really matter, you know, like people's opinion of you don't really matter, and it's so much easier said than done. But I think the moment you just stop caring and you're not bothered about being a little bit weird, or like, you know, I kind of respect people that just own it, you know, they're like, screw it, like I'm a nerd, I don't care, like it's just the way I am. Like, I'm not trying to impress anyone, you know, like it's just the way I am. If you don't like me, I'm sorry, that's not something I'm going to spend a lot of time thinking about. You know. So yeah, I don't know, I think that's definitely, like, some people don't have that issue, but I think there are a lot of people that still do. And the only thing that I can say is just to find a way to learn how to not care. And it's very difficult, and it sucks, and I hate it. But I tell you what, I would rather live my life like this than how it was before. My goodness. Yeah. It's just it's a good way just to kind of like let go and like not worry as much. And I tell you what, I am not very worried at all about a lot of things that I used to be very concerned about when I was younger. And I'm glad I'm like this now, because it is so much more healthier to be this way. I promise. Where do we get up to? What do we got? Next one is, what's something you've always wanted to say but never had the chance to? I don't know, man. I'm pretty vocal. Like, I'm pretty straightforward, man. Like, I don't really hold back nowadays. Let's see, I can't really think of anything, so I guess I'm just gonna go on to the next one. No, that one's kind of lame. Let's see. What's a fictional character that you deeply relate to, and why? I've gone over that one. If you could live in a universe of any video game, which one would it be? I feel like Stardew Valley would be a good one, but I haven't really played that game, so I don't know. I guess Minecraft would be alright, because, I don't know, like just hanging out, farming, building stuff, chilling. I feel like that's pretty my pace kind of thing. I play a lot of horror games and like dark games, so I don't know if I'd want to live in any of those. Yeah, I guess we'll stick with those answers. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We've kind of gone over all the questions, I suppose, so yeah. I guess I'll say, if you've made it this far through the video, I just want to say thank you for making it this far. I appreciate you. Hope you're having a good day, and yeah, till next time.